All right, y'all, what is going on? So after about, I would say 8 to 10 hours of train travel, it was a pretty long day. We finally arrived to our Airbnb here in Switzerland. We are near a town called Lucerne, I believe. We're gonna be here for the next 3 nights. Just booked this Airbnb literally on the way here, but it's pretty nice, one of the cheaper options, but it was also really nice, so I went ahead and booked this. It's literally like inside of a greenhouse. I'll give you guys a room tour here in a minute, but here in like the backyard, they have like a hot tub where you can rent. They charge you a little bit extra to rent it. I have not done that yet, but I might, haven't decided yet. But you can rent a hot tub, and then they have like just like a little dining area here in the back, and then like a fire pit, and then they have like the all you can use like firewood that you can use to, you know, stay warm throughout the night. But just some tips if you're traveling to Europe, more specifically in the Germany, Switzerland, Austria area, just because that's where I have been these past few days. Obviously, if you're traveling to Europe, you can travel by train or you can rent a car. So they're both probably going to cost you around the same long run, because if you rent a car, first of all, it's going to be expensive. Then if you want to add the insurance, which some of you will and some of you won't, it's going to add an extra charge. And then obviously the gas. So for an example, I rented a car from Munich to the Frankfurt area, and I had that for 2 or 3 days. When I visited my brother, I filled up my tank of gas for $110 US for a full tank of gas. Back at home, I'm paying $40 for a full tank. Granted, the tank here is probably larger on the car that I had, but still, $40 versus $110 is insane. So if you're renting a car, obviously you're more freely to do whatever you want. You can leave when you want. You don't have to carry your luggage anywhere. Park where you want, go where you want, whenever you want. So it's pretty convenient, but then it's also expensive if you're driving a lot, because then you're gonna have to pay for the gas, like I said earlier. But then if you're taking a train, you're probably gonna be taking a lot of trains from here to there, from here to there. So you're gonna spend a lot of time and money buying the separate train tickets. So oh, and not only that, but if you're freaking traveling with a lot of luggage, so I got my own like full-size luggage plus a carry-on, and so does she. And it's been a real hassle getting to and from different areas with all the luggage. It's truly annoying. So it just depends how you want to see Europe. Like I said, it's just personal preference. You're probably going to spend around the same amount of money. Regardless of what you do, it just depends on how you want to do it. But if you are traveling by train, I highly recommend don't bring a lot of luggage like we do, because that stuff does get super annoying. But if you come to Switzerland, download the train app. It's called like I'll put it here on the screen because I forgot. This is what it's called. And then if you're in Germany, download the DB app, put it right here so you guys can see, and it'll help you out with mapping out your routes, and kind of you can purchase your tickets online as well. But I like to do it at the kiosk because I feel like they have more options. But yeah, enough of the talk. Let me show you guys the room real quick. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I just woke up, if you can't tell. And really, whenever I first got to Switzerland, I was like, dang it, man, it's gonna be cold. The lakes aren't gonna be like, you know, see-through clear. Everything's gonna be frozen. There's gonna be snow everywhere. But lo and behold, you know, Switzerland is still Switzerland. Like, I've came in the fall and in the summertime, and winter just brings a completely different vibe to this country. Still very beautiful here, and very grateful to be here today. So yes, I don't care what time of the year it is, Switzerland will always be worth visiting. Alright, yeah, so we made it here to our next destination. But before we hopped on a train to come here to this little town, we actually stopped at McDonald's. And before you guys judge, because I know you're probably like, why would you eat McDonald's in another country, in Switzerland? Well, for one, food here is extremely expensive. For example, yesterday we went out for dinner and paid around $100 for literally just a burger and some enchiladas. $100 US, crazy. And then so at McDonald's, by the way, McDonald's here has like a completely different menu. I'm gonna post some here on the screen so you guys can see. It's a little like glitchy, so you can't really read it a whole lot, but menu is completely different than what it is back home, and the prices are absolutely absurd still. So I believe I paid about almost $50 US for literally a burger for the both of us, like a meal. So $50 US, that's crazy. So I thought we were gonna go to McDonald's to eat cheaper, and turns out it's still pretty damn expensive. So if you're coming to Switzerland, even if you're eating McDonald's, expect to be spending a good amount of money. And by the way, the McDonald's here is, I think I said it earlier, I can't remember, but the McDonald's here is phenomenal. So we both actually had the same sandwich. It's like a breakfast sandwich. Actually, just like a breakfast sandwich. And it has an egg in there with like some fried onions, some jalapenos, and of course the beef. But it was really good. Never had anything like that back at home, obviously, but 10 out of 10 would recommend. If you come to Switzerland, check out McDonald's. You'll be surprised. Yo, what is going on? Brought out the G7X camera. So right now we're just trying to figure out how to properly sled. I think there's another word for it in the Swiss language. But the hills are pretty steep. We've never done this before, so we don't really want to die. They give us these wooden sleds, but she's over there low-key freaking out, or high-key I should say. But we're just trying to watch videos to see how to properly work these things, and we'll see what happens. Jesus.
Did you record?
Alright, we got the chance to actually do like a little practice run down this little tiny slope that leads us to the actual slope. And she didn't bust her ass. What are your thoughts?
It's actually pretty fun once you actually get it. I'm excited.
You heard it here first. So I'm no expert. I just read on Google. It says if you want to turn, you gotta dig your heel into the side or into the way that you want to turn. So if you want to go left, put your body weight towards the left, and also dig your heel into the snow. So earlier we weren't really knowing how to turn. We were just kind of trying to move our body, but read Google, and I think we should be all right. All right, here goes nothing. I'm gonna try to do it facing forward. Hopefully I don't kill myself, but yeah, dude, this is phenomenal. If you're not a fan of skiing or snowboarding, sledding is definitely the way to go, ladies and gentlemen. Woo-hoo-hoo! Alright, so made it to the top of the mountain where we are gonna start our journey all the way back down. Now apparently this is the most scenic. We just encountered a couple that just made the hike all the way up here. Apparently it took them 4 hours walking from where they parked to get up to this point where we're at now. And from what they're saying and from what the guy that rented us a sleigh said, it's supposed to be very, very, very scenic. Woo, so tired. So I'm ready to check out the scene and yeah, see what it's all about. Oh, and another thing I forgot to mention throughout our trip here, I'm actually very surprised at the fact that most, if not all, of the grass here in Switzerland is still green, despite it being whatever 30 degrees Fahrenheit. All the grass is still green. Obviously all the tree leaves are dead and off the trees, but all the pine still has its green, obviously. But if there was no snow on the ground, you would think that it was like summertime. Alright, so we went down, all the way down, we got to the bottom, and then this is honestly probably one of the funnest things that I think I've ever done. The difference between this and like skiing and, I guess I wouldn't say snowboarding, but skiing is like, I can actually stop myself here. It's just as fun as snowboarding or skiing, but I feel like I can actually stop myself because I'm such a beginner at skiing that whenever I go, like it's really hard to stop. So it's like kind of scary because it feels like you're just gonna crash into a tree or something. But yeah, this is super fun. Would definitely recommend. Yo, just got done eating at this Asian restaurant called something nooch or nooch something. I can't remember. We'll put the name down below so you guys can see. Definitely would recommend personally. 10 out of 10. I would rate my food a solid 8.5. What about you?
Same.
8.5. It was really good. We got some it was like some type of noodles with like chicken, mushrooms, and some other herbs and whatnot, but it was really delicious. The atmosphere was great. Had a good beer. But now we're gonna make our way over here to a bar and have a drink or two. Good morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today is our last day here near the Lucerne area in Switzerland. Yesterday we went sledding and had a ton of fun. Probably, like I said yesterday, probably the most fun I have ever had in my entire life, believe it or not. So we're gonna take a train about an hour away and go sledding at a different location. Oh, and just a random tip too, something that I kind of found out on my trip here this time to Switzerland is the tipping culture here is a lot different than what it is back home in the States. So if you want to leave a tip to your bartender, your waiter, whatever, typically they don't ask you, or whenever they give you like a receipt, it doesn't ask you to put like a set amount. Usually what you have to do is you have to tell them that you want to leave them a tip. Without telling them you want to leave them a tip. So what I mean by that is, for example, if you go to a restaurant and it costs you whatever 85 Swiss francs, you want to tell them, hey, can you charge 90 Swiss francs instead of 85? So then they'll get the hint that you're giving them 5 francs extra, etc, etc. So again, so if you go to a bar, grab a couple drinks, and it comes out to be 30 Swiss francs, tell them, hey, I want to pay 40 francs, and then that 10 extra will go towards them as a tip. So at first I was kind of confused because I had nowhere for me to write down how much I wanted to leave them, and I don't carry cash, so just tell them, hey, round up to whatever and just leave them tip like that. So FYI. And I guess that's around Europe in general. So if you're going anywhere in Europe, really, that's how you want to leave a tip, if you do want to leave a tip. Not required. Yo, we're here at the train station. There's a vending machine here. We got pregnancy tests before we got GTA 6. Can you believe that? Look at this. Right there. Pregnancy tests. Also, a quick update. We were supposed to come sledding, but apparently it's not even open. So the only other option was to go tubing. So that's what we elected to do. So we're gonna go tubing. I don't think it's gonna be as exciting as sledding, but we're already here. So I wasn't just gonna come here, pay, and then not do anything here. So we'll go ahead and check it out, and we'll give you guys our feedback. So let's go. It's Woody and Buzz, and they're coming in fast. Excellent. Just went down the first slope with the tube. I can confirm it is not as near as fun as sledding was yesterday. Still fun, but it's just a short ride, maybe like 10 seconds or so. Opposed to sledding, at one point we were going down like a 30-minute like track, I guess, if you would. But still a cool time, but definitely would recommend sledding over tubing for sure. But if you have kids, maybe this is a friendlier option for you. The crab. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today is our final day here in Switzerland. We are still here in our cabin Airbnb, and we're gonna head back to Zurich via train, and then we're gonna stay the night there and then take a train to the airport tomorrow morning. But yeah, overall my experience on this trip was phenomenal. Got to see my brother and his family, my nieces, nephews, his wife. I love spending time with them. They're just great people to be around. Definitely gonna miss them. Hopefully I get to see them soon. And then being here in Switzerland is it's a dream, man. It's definitely one of my top favorite countries. So definitely grateful to be here. And just some random tips. If you're gonna come to Switzerland and you're gonna be here for at least, you know, 4, 5, 6 days, I would personally probably recommend you to rent a car instead of taking the train everywhere. I think it'll come out to be cheaper overall. The train tickets do cost quite a bit, especially if you're going back and forth on the regular. And then if you're staying like at an Airbnb that's not close to a train station, you're gonna have to get an Uber, which is also expensive to get to the train station. So highly recommend to rent a car if you're coming to Switzerland. Like I said, it'll probably come out to be cheaper. I would also highly recommend to not overpack and make sure you only bring what you absolutely need, that way you're not hauling a bunch of luggage through the train station. The train station here in Switzerland, it's super simple to navigate. Probably one of the simplest stations I've ever navigated anywhere around the world. So that's a plus. Not super hard to figure out where you're going and when to go, so that's awesome. Yes, I do recommend to visit Switzerland during the winter time if you're into winter sports. That is a ton of skiing, snow tubing, sledding, and snowboarding. There's also a ton of other things to do here in the country, but there's really never a bad time to visit Switzerland. It's kind of just up to you, personal preference on what you want out of your trip. But if you're looking to save a little bit of money, then maybe the winter months are a little bit better for you to travel here, considering it's the low season. So your flights are going to cost anywhere from $700 to $1,000 US, depending on where you're flying from. Opposed to the summer months, they could reach up to $2,000 US dollars, depending where you're flying from in the summer as well. I also wish we could have spent more time in Austria. We were only there for a day. But that country is also super pretty, super beautiful. But really any country that's surrounded by the Alps or in the Alps is going to be nice. So just keep that in mind. And if I think of any other things, then I will definitely mention them here in the video later on. And then there's also just something else random. I feel like the food here in Europe is a whole lot healthier. Like anything that I've eaten, including McDonald's, just tastes completely different. Like just tastes natural. Like if you've been to Europe, been to Switzerland, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The food just tastes different. It's hard to explain, but it doesn't feel like you're eating a whole bunch of, like, I don't know, processed foods or whatever. But food here is incredible. It's also super expensive. Maybe it's for that reason, but yeah, I'm going to Zurich, and I don't know what we're gonna do there, but we'll figure it out.